Welcome to the Peak Collective podcast with myself, Shane.
And Luca.
No BS, just fitness. And today we are talking about the differences in training between male and female.
Yeah, the different sexes.
Yeah.
There's so much, as we've touched on, I believe it was episode 6 or 7, around a lot of misinformation around training as a woman, or even training as a man, to be honest. And what we wanted to touch on today is the differences in training, the differences in diet, the differences in many different avenues, a lot in strength. I've got some statistics here as well, and how we would train, how most of my clients are female, how we train our female clients, and how we think we should train, basically.
Yeah, and I think there is a big difference, and we touched on this on the previous episode, as you said. I think women especially think that their heights should be hit to the same as men, and I think that can be such a barrier as to why they don't want to go into the weight room, they don't want to start in the gym and stuff like that, and I think it needs to be highlighted.
Yeah, I think a very good point there is, you might as well go into the strength statistics in a second. I'm training with my wife, training with some female PTs, or just some female mates or whatever else, is sometimes they'll be like, oh, why are you doing X amount more weight than me, or etc, etc. But I think it's very important to actually understand what the strength standards are as a female and what you should be striving towards. Yeah,
I think that's a big misconception in the whole gym/fitness industry is, oh, I don't want to go out running with you because you're going to be so much faster than me. Oh, do we have to do legs or bench today because you're going to be putting more plates on than me? Well, of course I'm going to be. Like, we need to break that barrier down. No, not because of that, but because there is a difference, and I think it needs to be highlighted as to where you should be respectively. And I think when we bring out these numbers that we've done a bit of research into, I think women will be surprised as to where they actually are in comparison to beginner, intermediate and advanced for their own category.
100%. I don't know how many times I hear it when I see a female benching like 50-60 kg, which is damn impressive.
Really impressive, by the way.
And they're like, oh, so weak.
Yeah, 100%. And like,
what's going on? That's such
they're
a
like
heavy weight.
doing 50 for 5, 60 for 5, up to 10 reps. So they're like, oh, I can't get over 60.
Yeah, I'd say that's a 50-60 kg for a female. I'd probably put that on the level of a guy benching like 110.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It's that of a difference in terms of how impressive that is. You know, like, there are, if you put it in terms of weight, in terms of gender, of what a female can lift to a male, there are females out there that are categorically stronger than me, but just by their weight category.
Yeah, I think the ratio people should look at as well. Like you said, your height, your weight, obviously your hormone, testosterone imbalance compared to males as well. But all of them factors together, if you're pushing 60 and I'm pushing like 1 to 120, you're doing far better on a percentage-wise compared to your body than I am to mine.
Yeah, 100%. There's women that I know all the time that are like 50 kg, benching like 60 or more sometimes.
Well
like 70,
above their body weight, yeah.
And that's a substantial amount.
How long, like, what, we both sit around 85 to 90 kilo, let's say around there. I'm a little bit lighter, but 85 kilo. How long did it take you to start benching 85 kilo? Quite well.
Damn on time.
Yeah, and now you'd probably be able to, like, you could put it on and probably bench a bit, right?
Yeah.
That 85 kilo, yeah, same.
Years now.
But how long is that taking
Years now. And to be honest, like, if you look at, okay, let's go on my benching journey. When I first started, 30 was heavy.
Yeah.
Right? That was
literally.
Yeah, I remember doing the bar.
I remember struggling back in the day.
That feels quite heavy, but let's put the fives on and being like, what the hell? Like, this is so heavy.
Yeah.
And then the jump from that to, I don't know what, by the end of year 1, let's say it was like 70, 80 maybe.
Yeah, a bit around there.
Give or take, maybe. So the jump from 30 to 80, so that's that, like 50 kg,
50 kg
in a year.
And you're still under your body weight.
I've never done that jump again.
Yeah, no. Like, no, you don't go from like 80
the
to
work
100.
from 80 to 100 took like another year.
Wait, longer than that.
Yeah, probably longer. And then from 100 plus, it's taken me, well, still not
100 to 105.
I'm not that much more than 100.
No, yeah.
Right? So, you know, again, when I see a woman that's training, let's go on the strength statistics. Let's go on bench first.
Yeah, let's talk about this for women, by the way.
Since we're looking at benching, beginner. So let's go on the categories first.
Yeah, so beginner.
So beginner counts. Again, we can dispute this. For me, at least, it's 6 months up to a year.
I'd say up to a year, yeah. 100%.
For me, you're probably still a beginner by the end of year one. Maybe some of your lifts you might get into intermediate.
Yeah.
Intermediate is the next phase. Intermediate phase, you can be in this forever. You can be in it for a few years. It purely depends on how good your programming is and honestly how good your genetics are
and how much you actually want to progress. Some people will stay in and around there, but their focus might turn to another compound or endurance or cardio. So you never actually come out of it, which is a very good place to be.
There's still some lifts I'm intermediate at, and most of them are in advanced category, but there's some that I'm actually in intermediate.
Yeah.
Advanced is the next. This is probably someone that's been training, I'd say, for at least 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years, yeah.
5 years plus. Then there's elite, which we're not actually going to get into today because you're looking at the elite. These are powerlifters, weightlifters, what's they called? Strongman. But the elite of the elite.
They're always the best of the best,
These
right? You take away from
3 times body weight, 2 times body weight, the crazy lifts.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the elite. I'm never going to probably get to the elite category on this.
Yes, you can, man. What are you talking about?
One day. To be fair, my dips maybe. I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon you get there. Yeah, you love a dip.
Cool. Bench.
Yeah. So beginner, we're talking for women. So again, anything up to a year is 17 kg, 17 kilo.
Yeah.
That's a barbell, singly.
Yeah.
Women's weightlifting is 15. A normal barbell I would use is 20 kilo at full size. You're already on beginner if you touch it straight away. If you can rep that for one,
if you're
done.
benching a 20 bar, right,
you're above beginner standards.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realise this. That's really impressive.
Intermediate, 51 kg. So now we're going quite heavy. But bear in mind, we were just saying intermediate can be forever.
You can stay there, yeah.
And let's say you are, again, weight and height, this is a very generalised number. Say you're a woman that weighs 70, 80 kg, you're probably going to end up benching more than 50 at some point in your life.
Yeah, you're benching more than a woman who's under 5 foot weighing 45 kilo.
Exactly. But if in generalisation, if a woman's benching around 50, that is a very, very impressive number.
Yeah.
That's intermediate. Advanced
goes up to 74 kilo.
Which is mad.
That's mad. I don't actually know if I know anyone that can do
I think
that.
I've seen one.
Have you?
Before, yeah.
I probably do, but not seen it.
There's people on Instagram that I follow.
Yeah.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah, 100%. But then that's pushing advanced. They're the people you'll see that are maybe influencers or they compete quite well in things.
There's a woman I follow, I think she benched like 130 yesterday.
Why are you putting me down like that? Humbled me.
Exactly.
Yeah. But like
again, that's an anomaly.
Yeah, that's like elite. That's elite.
Same way if I saw a guy bench 200, like
crazy.
I look at that, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 74 kilo for a woman is a crazy. So if you're even close to that, I'd say if you're anywhere from that 51 towards 74, you're in a very top percent when you're training.
Yeah. I'd say so. And this is what I've got female clients that I've got to the 50-ish.
Yeah, same. I think most of mine get to 50 kilo, whether it's for 1 or 5 reps.
Like I said at the beginning, they'll say, why am I so sort of weak? And so deadlifting for beginner, 38 kg.
That's about a 10 plate aside.
10 plate per side, which, to be honest, again, like, I think...
Yeah. If you're starting off with that, that's a good place to be within your first year.
87 kg for intermediate.
It's a big jump, but it's a deadlift. It's the most heavy compound you're going to get.
And again, if I think be impressed with yourself if you can get to that. 120 advanced, which is damn heavy.
That is damn heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just understanding that. What's this website called? Let's get it up. If we go on, a good standard to look at is the website I've actually got the statistics from. So I actually get a lot of my clients that go on this. I believe it's called Strength Level.
Yeah.
Literally every lift that you can look at. We've only got like the main big ones.
Mm-hmm. How do you categorise it? Is it Gen Pop, like you said, or when you're diving into the numbers?
Generalisation, but you can actually look at it in terms of weight and height as well. You can look at it in training experience, how many years you've been training, to actually then start matching your reps. A few of my clients, male and female, that want to get strong, I refer them to this page quite often because it's a blanket, it's a generalisation. I've got very long limbs, so bench press isn't always going to be one of my best lifts anyway. But it's always good to see, okay, I weigh approx 90 kg, I'm normally on maintenance, okay, cool, how much should I be benching roughly with my training age? And it's just nice to see what I should be striving.
Your standpoints are,
100%. Squats.
Squats, a beginner, we're opening up at 30 kilo, which is good.
Yeah, it's heavy.
100%. I think if you're starting there, that's crazy. That's such a good place to be within a year. And then intermediate moves into 73 kilo, which is more than doable, especially for women. I think almost next to most of my clients, we're touching a close to 70 kilo if you're in a year plus of training.
Yeah, and again, like, I think a good point actually to put in as well is with our clients getting to these numbers, is most of these aren't people training 5-6 days a week.
No, we don't train genetic freaks. Might have one or two, but I train
maybe
Gen Pop
2-3 days a week.
Yeah,
some of them more obviously. But
I've got hairdressers, financial consultants. I've got a wide spectrum of people. They'll see me 1 to 3 times a week tops. Maybe train 1 or twice on their own as well, but they're not elite athletes. If you want to get to a high end of intermediate as to where you are, Gen Pop across the world, it's very doable.
100%. And I truly think if you look at, then I haven't actually got the statistic up here, but if you look at the percentage of men and again women again that can bench X amount, deadlift X amount, it's actually surprising to see how strong you are compared to the majority of the population. Again, look at it in perspective. If a beginner, that's someone training for a year, can squat 30 kg, that probably means that there's a ton of people up there, because there's not that many people that actually train in the grand scheme of things, that cannot even squat 30 kg. So if you're squatting 50, 60, 70, 80 kg, you are in a very top percentage.
I think you should be so proud of it.
And you've got damn strong legs. Advanced, it says 103 kg. Again, weight and height, if you're 45 kg, it might be a little bit less than that, obviously, but 103 kg. And again, I do think that's achievable. I've had a couple of clients get to in the hundreds.
Close to 100 kilo, yeah.
So that's great. The two big ones, and these are the ones that I love getting my female clients in particular to be able to do.
This is going to cause controversy.
But I think it's so impressive when they can do this, because it's such a good strength standard upper body wise. Pull-ups.
So we're looking at pull-ups. We're gonna take a pause here. I'm gonna let you think of it. We don't do much engagement with these.
No,
so I'm gonna. So you might have seen this going around. There's been a craze lately. You said you don't have TikTok in a previous episode because you're ancient, but it's going around as a craze. And the voiceover says, "What is the worldwide average for a pull-up for a female?" If you know it, just have a think about it, maybe comment it, see what you think. Have a think. If you don't know, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. It is crazy. The vast amount of women across the world, they can do a pull-up. How many reps do they get? The answer is -1. -1 to 1. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Again, I think
it is a hard skill.
It's honestly, like, pull-ups is one of my weakest lifts.
Yeah.
I can't even do that many. I was watching Physical 100 the other day.
What a show.
You
should start watching it.
Ever. I'm not going to lie. But one of the guys got 46 reps.
46 reps. And, like, we're putting that into the standpoint of we're talking benching nearly 200 for blokes, like you said, deadlifting 300 kilos, like, elite level. To do less than 50 pull-ups is an elite level. Like, that's how hard this skill is.
I was looking at the male ones as well, because I was interested to see where I lied. Elite for a male is 30.
Yeah.
46.
That's it. Like, 30 reps of your own body weight is elite. And then I think people, especially a lot of my clients lately, so I've put this in a lot of people's programs because I think it is important. I've always been terrible at them, so I am trying to get better myself. They're like, why am I using a band? Why am I using a resistance band? Why am I using a machine? How long is it going to take me? Well, be patient. The fact you can do 10 to 15 with a very light resistance band, you should be so proud of that.
Yeah.
You can get your chin over the bar. That already puts you in a top % of an average standard, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think, for me, out of all the lifts here, this is my weakest, and it's the one that took me the longest to actually be able to do one myself.
100%.
I've actually had female and male clients that achieved pull-ups before I did, in respective of training age.
Get it in a year.
It took me
longer than that, I reckon.
It took me longer than a year, I think, for pull-ups. I don't know if it's an anatomy thing, I don't know if it's what it is. Pull-ups have always been the hardest for me.
Yeah.
the max I've ever gotten myself is like 15 in one go, and
Yeah,
that's when I
maybe
weighed
like a max.
really light.
Yeah.
You're going back maybe 7 years, 6 years. It's been a while since I've got that many.
Probably added 10 kilos since then. It's probably quite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like wearing a weighted
way
vest.
harder now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, -1 to 1 is like a average of a beginner for a woman.
yeah, and again, that's up to a year, give or take, to be able to get 1 rep is impressive.
And then people on a program for 6 weeks are frustrated that they can't do one.
Exactly, and that's something I want to get into once we've covered these numbers. Is why does this matter?
Yeah.
Intermediate 6 reps.
Which is damn impressive.
Yeah, honestly, when I see anyone, if I'm honest, do 6 reps of pull-ups that's only been training for X amount of time, I think that's very impressive.
I respect it, even if you've got a really low resistance band. If you're doing pull-ups, I think that's amazing.
Advanced 15 reps. So
15, so that's top to high end. Like,
Yeah, so
that's like 3 to 5 years plus, like we've said.
Yeah, so if you're... And honestly, looking at that number, as a female, I'd say that's someone that's probably put a lot of time and effort in getting better at pull-ups.
That's a pull-up program.
I can say for myself, when I'm super consistent with them, I'll get above 10.
Yeah.
Most of the time after like maybe a month or two. If I'm not, I'm inconsistent, like I did them for the first time in ages the other day, I got like 8.
Yeah. I think it's one of the proper weird exercises in that way. Like, say if you go on holiday for a week or you don't bench for a week, it might be a couple of dumbbell sets down or maybe a plate off, whatever. But you don't pull up for 10 days, you're like 5 reps lower straight away.
So look at the number, the advanced 15. Even if you are advanced, if you don't pull up often, 15 is crazy.
No, yeah, and you're quite literally advanced at pull-ups. Like, you're doing them on a regular basis.
You're probably looking at someone that does a lot of calisthenics, gymnastics.
Yeah.
The elite, I haven't got it written down, but I believe it was above 22, which is nuts.
That's not.
Yeah. Dips. Another feat, I believe, is very impressive.
Yes, it is very close statistics. Yes. Was that episode 1?
I think that was episode...
No.
We filmed it Thursday, but I believe that was episode 4.
Episode 4, where we spoke about our exercises, yeah. Some of you probably still hate me for that. Yeah, so you mentioned the dips, so here we go. So I'm going to throw the questions to you, so we're looking at beginner for this time.
So, beginner... What, are you asking me what I think it's going to be? Or?
No, we know what it is. We know what it is.
I think it's this.
You unveil it to people.
Beginner for dips, again, for female, even male I believe was 1. Female was -1 to 1.
Yeah.
In a beginner category. Dips, I got to this quicker than pull-ups, 100%. I think I got dips in my first 6 months, give or take.
Yeah.
Don't know why. As I was saying, our favourite exercises, I've always just been stupid strong at dips for some reason. But yeah, -1 to 1. Intermediate 10.
It's a big jump.
Big jump.
Biggest jump we've seen.
Again, when I can see a woman or a female doing up to that many reps or just more than that, it's a mad feat. Advanced 22 reps.
That's a lot of dips.
Again, if I look at this personally, again, if I compare this to like the bench, deadlift, squat, I think these numbers is someone that, because often you'll do some sort of bench, you'll do some sort of hip hinge, you'll do some sort of squat variation, even though it's just like hack squats.
Yeah.
So it all kind of contributes together.
They all go together.
Dips is one of those things, if you don't do dips, you're not going to be good at dips.
No, yeah, as you stated in the exercise podcast episode we did, you were saying, you can chuck some weights on and stuff like that. You can progress fairly quickly when you're doing it because you do it a lot, and it's just a movement probably similar to pull-ups. You just have to keep doing. Pull-ups is a longer way of trying to program it, but again, if you don't do dips, like you said, you won't be able to. You can do all the tricep overhead extensions, you can do the push downs, you can do the single arm cables. If you're not doing dips, it's so hard to move on with. And I think that's why there's such a big jump between them, because obviously the jump from beginner to advanced and how much you are programming dips, that's the increase you can get if you actually focus on it.
Yeah, personally I'd say like a good program for upper body, if you could just get pull-ups and dips in maybe like twice a week, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to actually get to these numbers. It's just staying dedicated that it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it's not going to take 4 weeks.
No, because I think very often these two movements in particular, if I'm honest, doesn't matter in general on this one, things that most people avoid. Pull-ups, because they're so hard, people just go straight for the lat pull down. Dips, because they're so hard, they'll just go to the dip machine, or they'll go and do close grip bench or something, because you can regress that a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I believe if you just stick time with it, these give you great bang for your bucks. Again,
Great exercises.
male or female, if you can do a lot of reps or a lot of weight on these two exercises, you're gonna have impressive strength standards across the board.
Yeah.
It's like you were just saying, it doesn't matter how much you try some extension or try to push down, but you won't be able to do dips. But if you can do heavy dips,
you're doing
heavy loads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it works the other way around. And I don't want this to come across as in favour for males with these stats. I think we need to put it across as well that I know men that will use resistance band and can't do a pull-up or cannot do a dip, and I've got women clients that can.
Yeah,
it's just when it's programmed and how long your training agent experience is. So it definitely is doable.
100%. And I think the main reason I wanted to put all these statistics across, one was to show the clients we currently got that I know some of these listen to actually show how strong you actually are.
Yeah.
But also too to show the importance of strength standards. Is if you've got to yourself to this point on these 5 big lifts, if you've got yourself to these points where you're at least an intermediate for the majority of these, you're damn strong.
Yeah, you're in a good percentile.
We're not even talking about aesthetics here. You're talking about health standards. We're talking about anything else.
So I think this is what we both preach. This is performance. This is how your body moves. This is how you program. This is your athleticism, just longevity, your resistance training, as we picked across in the episode. Before this, this isn't aesthetics. This is how you can perform with your body, how you are, how you train, how hard you train. And you should be damn proud of that.
And the aesthetics will come. If you're doing these lifts in the intermediate advanced, guess what? Your aesthetics will be there as well.
Funnily enough, yes, they will. So what does that take us into then?
Now, going into this is then, do we have to train differently?
Yeah.
That's the
We're
big
umbrella
one.
that.
And if you look at these lifts, bench, deadlift, squat, pull-ups, dips, guess what? Men and women, or whatever gender, they all do them.
That could be a full day split for a male or female.
Yeah.
Bench, then deadlift, then squat, pull-up, dips to finish as a finisher.
To be honest,
that could be
if I'm programming for a beginner, obviously regressions or whatever else will be there.
Yeah.
But
as variations of these,
normally put these 5 in, probably with an overhead variation as well, like an overhead press or something.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going off, the skeleton. Obviously, again, if someone wants to grow their hamstrings more, their shoulders more, etc., then we'll customize.
You dominate certain parts of the body.
As any gender, get heavy at these lifts. You're gonna aesthetically and fitness-wise.
It's not in favour either way. The human body's, a fine piece of machinery. It works to a T if you just do the things properly.
Yeah. I think that's the main point we're trying to.
Yeah, we don't need to train differently.
And the thing is, and this is where the differences do come. Isn't so much the training differently here, but it's more the aesthetics that come with it.
Yeah.
And this is the difference between men and women, right?
100%.
We have a lot more testosterone in our body, and we were touching on this before in a prior episode about women not wanting to train heavy because of being bulky, etc. But that is not the case.
No.
You're not going to get bulkier from putting on muscle. If anything, you're going to look leaner. Men, yes, we get bigger. Hopefully, that's what we all strive for.
That's what we try to, yeah.
By getting stronger, by adding volume, time and attention, etc. Women, it's very different. If you get these strength standards, all that's going to happen will just be a leaner and stronger version of yourself.
Yeah, the thing with men as well is you've just pinpointed there with the testosterone levels. When we get stronger and we lift more and we do mature and we have mature muscle mass, our testosterone also increases when we're growing with it. Yes, when you hit about 30, 35 years old, that starts to decrease. That's a different story. But up until the ages of, late 30s, let's say, it will increase our testosterone. The more muscle mass you have, the better you recover. The more you can push, the more you can pull. That helps us get that bulky look. And testosterone stores your quads when you're squatting, your traps, your shoulders, they dominate because that's our physiological human skeleton. It's not the same for women. And
let's go into hormones here with weight training and getting stronger. Okay, it gives us more testosterone, but it also balances our hormones out efficiently. It helps us with the insulin resistance. It helps us with testosterone. Likewise with women. A lot of women out there, unfortunately, do suffer from hormone imbalances.
Yeah, the big one's iron deficiency as well. A lot of people see that, and that massively affects your
Obviously,
performance.
diet is massive on this, but we're not talking about diet here too much here. but strength training will help balance your hormones out.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Especially with the testosterone.
The more lean mass you get, the more bone density you get. And again, not to go too in depth, but let's say you're approaching your menopause or you're worried about your menopause in the future, the more bone density, the more muscle mass you have for the future. It's the same way we lose testosterone as we get older, you'll be losing estrogen, you'll be losing testosterone.
That's the main female hormone.
Your osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, all these things are actual things you can get in older ages. And these are the things that are going to help you. Get into these intermediate, even advanced or more stages, you're way less likely to get these.
Then it might not prevent them, but it's definitely going to prolong them. 100%. You know, you can hold it off for a long time. You know, if you've got kids, grandkids, as you're growing older, if you are worried about menopause, like you said, you're going to hold it off for a couple of years, which surely is what you're looking at, longevity-wise.
We've all seen that 78-year-old grandma that's been going gym since like the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, they look phenomenal.
They look crazy, and they can still function with their grandkids. They can run around, they can squat down, you know. How many people do you see, especially my grandparents and stuff, they can't do all of that because they haven't been training. You know, it's not, they weren't brought up in that cultural environment to do so, but if people do start doing it, they're going to see such more benefits in the long run because of it.
Do you see the one in our gym? One of my clients was telling me about her. She's going to hold the world record next year. She did a 5-kilometre run, I believe, in 22 minutes at 75,
yes, I did.
75 years old.
And you know the crazy thing? She's only been running for like 10 years.
Yeah.
She actually started over the age of 60.
This also proves you can get fit at any age.
Yeah, you can
literally start.
So, yeah, she literally, honestly, has been running for like 10 years. She's broken almost every single record.
Nuts. My client was actually saying that we should get her on the podcast. It might be quite a good idea.
Yeah, let's get her. Cool. But yeah, I think we dive in to prove we don't need to train differently. And blokes as well. Obviously, men, you're listening to this. Be proud of your numbers as well, you know? We haven't...
Yeah, we didn't go into the men's ones. We'll probably do it...
we'll do that on
another one. But again, with the men, yes, the numbers are fairly high. And like I said, even I've got in some of the advanced and some of the lifts. But you'd be surprised where you will sit.
Yeah.
But also, I think, touching on that, there's a lot of people that go to the gym all the time and do the same weights for 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's also why they get stuck in intermediate. Maybe look at the numbers will actually give you the kick up the arse that you need to actually
get into that next phase.
You could be like, I've been benching the 30s for 10 years, maybe I should actually go up.
And you're probably not that far away, you know, hopefully these numbers highlight, oh yeah, I can do like, you know, the intermediate. I'm probably only a couple of kilos from getting advanced. If I push it for maybe 12 weeks to a year, you'll be alright.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they're closer than they think.
Yeah, cool. I think.
You want that one?
Do you want to wrap that one up or anything else you want to add?
I'm happy with that one.
Cool. Guys, hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, about the controversial with two guys talking about gender health and things, but we really wanted to touch on, more than anything, just to show the strength standards and where you currently are, to be honest. I think it's a feat. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked it. Prior videos in the playlist below. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hopefully this gets out a little bit.
Cool.
Thank you very much.